Hello, Lou. Good morning. My name is Calvin Burkhart. I work with Mr. and Mrs. Leeds. We have not met yet, but I attend the BNI. I'm part of the BNI Network Navigators Tuesday morning meetings with your wife, Martha. And so recently I had my 8-minute presentation. And what we do here at Mr. and Mrs. Leeds is we build and design beautifully built websites on mostly on WordPress, but we work with a plethora of platforms. And we use search engine optimization among other marketing strategies to get them ranked and found, thus resulting in more business, more people to the website, more business, and more customers, more revenue, yada yada. So without further ado, I just wanted to give you this attack plan. So basically what these attack plans are for, these are to give a customer an idea of what they can do online to increase their awareness and increase their presence. This one is going to be a little bit shorter. I would like to expand more if you're interested in knowing more. I don't know the extent of your web stuff, if you're working on it yourself or if you have people working on it. So I would love to talk to you more about kind of how that works. And if you even need help, it kind of seems like you're dominating this space, but I would take a look at and show at least where I can see that are areas of improvement. So let's dive right in here. So I can see right on the front page, I love it. I love the fireplace. I think it's warm. I think it's welcoming, and it's straight to the point. What do you do? Well, you're a chimney sweeper. So, straight to the point, and that's what I like to see. Lots of call outs. I like to click to call. Everything's looking good. So it has all the normal stuff that I would like to see on a normal business website. So great job there. I see that you guys have plenty of content, and you guys are getting found. So I see here you guys have around 200 pages, and that includes your blogs. I see that you're using WordPress. I love WordPress. I think WordPress is great. And I think there's a lot of customization options. I've been using WordPress for years, and so do my developers. So if you'd ever like to change the look and feel of your website, just understand that we work in WordPress day in and day out, and we'd love to help you with anything that you may think of. So moving on, Ahrefs. This is a tool that gives me an idea of kind of what your website's performing search engine optimization wise. So where your website's ranking as far as what keywords, what key phrases, long-term long tail keywords, stuff like that. And this gives me an idea of kind of what your website's doing. Obviously Google's going to have all the ultimate data, which I hope that you would have access to. I'm sure you do. And you should be able to see this kind of upward trend. So it looks like you've been working with somebody for a while, or you've been doing some of the work yourself. And another thing that we can see is the organic search. So I can see that over time, kind of how the organic traffic has grown over time. And I can also see, looking into your keywords, what keywords exactly are bringing you in the most value. So obviously you're getting found for chimney sweeps, Colorado Springs. One of your higher keywords. 250 people are searching for that on average each month. This is specific to Colorado Springs, and this is a long tail keyword. So these are usually things that people are going to be searching for when they're ready to buy. So these are money keywords, basically. The keyword competition isn't very high. There's not a lot of people trying to target this kind of stuff, it seems. But the cost per click is also reflecting that as well. So it's cost per clicks are fairly low, judging by this tool. So obviously these numbers are not always accurate and up to date. Sometimes like this one, for example, was last checked December 23rd. But if you go into your Google Analytics or Webmaster Tools, you should be able to view this data from there. So looking at some of our other tools. So anyways, well, before we move on, I wanted to just say, congratulate you guys. You guys seem to be dominating your space in your market, in your field. If you would like to add any more services, or if there's something in particular that you're trying to rank for and you're just having a hard time, I'd love to help you out with that. Just have Martha let me know. And so I'd be more than happy to help. But moving on, there's another tool that I like to use called Pingdom. So this kind of gives me an idea of like where your website sits, as far as speed and user, usability. I think the website's looking great. So take these scores with a grain of salt, but if there were areas to improve, you would at least know about them. And so this is basically where it's saying you're failing. It's saying that basically, most of your stuff is good, except for some issues with some of the code, and that's usually pretty easily fixable. This stuff's all, it's up to you on whether or not you want to improve it, but you can pause the video and take a look at some of these stats here, and what it's letting you know. This tool is actually free too, so feel free to check out pingdom.com. Go down to the tools and feel free to drop your website URL in there. Search from any server you like, and then this will give you a whole plethora of information. There's other tools out there that'll give you a lot of information as well. So that's why I like to use multiple tools to kind of compare against one another. So another one is GT Metrics that I like to use. So this tool is telling me that based on the information it's receiving or it's looking for, there's some images that could be optimized. Going here, this is another free tool, gtmetrics.com. You just drop your website in there and it'll tell you all this information. You can actually go ahead and click on any of these images, and it'll kind of tell you right here. It'll say, hey, you can reduce the quality or size of the image, and that will improve the speed, load time, and give you a higher score. So there's also waterfall. I don't expect you to kind of understand this, but if you do kind of understand some of the stuff, these long lines will kind of indicate where's the hiccup. So basically it's just talking about images, and that's seems to be like, on the front page is what it's indicating. So mainly images. Moving on, there's Think with Google. This is somewhat of a newer tool that came out over the last year. I think it was last summer, 2018, and I can see here that this is just a test. It's a tool, so take it with a grain of salt, but it's saying that according to this tool, it's showing that on a 3G mobile device your website would take about 8 seconds to load, and based on their analysis, that would be a 28% estimated visitor loss just from the loading time. And then I can also see that based on your industry competition, this is where your site sits, but like I said, take this with a grain of salt, because you're actually, it seems to me at least, that you are dominating. So take that with that. However you want to look at that, you can check this tool out. It's Think with Google. Feel free to go to thinkwithgoogle.com and then run the test. So another tool that I used is my audit, and my audit came up with 959 audits, and this has to do with your SEO. And so what this audit tells me is that it tells me if there's any broken links on your website. So it's telling me that there's one, and then it's telling me that there are 6 pages on your website that have an excessive number of links, so meaning that there's a lot of hyperlinks on that page going out, and then it's also telling me that there's a lot of do follow external links. These are kind of normal. That's typical of what you would see in a normal functioning website, but broken links is something that can be prevented and should be. And also some of these other indicators down here. So the too long titles. So it's basically telling me that there's 4 pages that are this tool is saying at least to have too long of titles. Empty meta description. So there's 59 pages that don't have any description on them whatsoever. I'm assuming those are going to be blogs, and so that's up to you whether or not you want to even mess with that. It wouldn't help or improve in the long term, but at this point in time, you are not at any risk, I don't believe, of being dominated. So duplicate meta descriptions, seems like there's 2. So what that means is basically the tool is looking just like as if the search engines would scan your site to judge on where to place you. And this basically means that there's 2 pages on your site that have matching meta descriptions. Maybe it was just copied and pasted, but typically they want to see uniqueness. So they want to see each page has its own purpose, its own title, its own description. There's a reason for that page, and that should reflect in the title and descriptions. And so they don't really like to see websites that have pages with the same exact thing said for both pages, and that could be blank. It could be just copied and pasted, and it's just word for word the same thing. But you would want to try to vary that up. Pages with long redirect chains, so that would be worth maybe looking into to see if it's something that you are aware of, or if it's even something that you want on your website. And then it's just saying that there's one warning for one URL on your website that happens to be too long according to what industry standards are looking for. So take all this information with a grain of salt, but this is all all areas that could be improved. But as you know, you're already dominating the space. So unless you want to expand your services or expand locations, I don't really see that affecting you too much. You're just still going to be in the top. So if you see things differently, or if you have any questions or concerns, I'll have my contact information in the email and my signature. And I meet with Martha every Tuesday. So I'd be more than happy to help you guys more. If you'd like to know more information, just get in touch. Thank you.